A beta reader, what they will do is I will go through my draft. I will go through my initial edits, anything that I can find, fix my own grammar mistakes. I use software. I use Grammarly for that. With that, I can probably get it to about 90 to 95% right. On my own, I'll never find all my errors because I know what I meant to say, and I know what I meant, to present, and I sometimes will skip over my own errors. So I give the book to the beta readers, and I ask them to go through it with a fine-tooth comb and write notes, write comments, whatever. If at one point I described something one way and later on I described it differently, they catch something like that, let me know. I'm not perfect. If they don't like the way I state something, I do write for humor, I do write for effect, and a lot of times I'll use play on words. I'll use the same starting letter for several words in a series. Like I might say, a bevy of bonobos bounded from bulwark to bulkhead. That's intentional, and I like to get the feedback from the beta readers to see if they find that funny or not. I really do. Yeah. Yeah, and there's play on words like that. There's also callbacks that come back. We say something in chapter 2, odds are something's going to play back on it in chapter 12 because I love those callbacks where you make a little bit of a prediction and then it pays off later on. But the beta readers, they read it through thoroughly. I take their input. I take all their feedback. Occasionally, I've changed up a few, minor characters. I usually do not change plot points based on what the beta readers tell me, but I might change certain issues or certain things about the story. Once they're done, then it goes to the editor.
So, it's very important to an author. What I'm hearing is that to have the beta readers as well as the editor.
Absolutely. I totally appreciate my beta readers and get a lot of good reviews back from that. And I also do the same thing. I do peer reviews and beta reads for other people regularly and give them my feedback. And I feel like you help each other out as authors.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we get back, we're going to bring Ajit into the conversation because he writes from a different point of view, but I believe that he has a lot of qualities in line with what they're doing as well. So we're going to talk a little bit more than him.
And Shakers, it's your girl, Rhonda M. Lawson, sending you a personal invite to the Literary Lounge. Tune in to Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions each Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the best in literary conversation. Each week, a different author will join us to talk to their most important readers, you. You can also call in to ask your own questions. So don't forget, each Wednesday at 7 p.m., join us in the lounge for Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. See you there.
Hello and congratulations. You have arrived at the second half. I'm your host, Cinder Coleman Miller. Connect with us every Thursday at 10 o'clock a.m. on the New Orleans Talk Network as we discuss issues pertaining to the most exciting and prolific generation of our times, the baby boomers. So for information, resources, and booming entertainment, meet us at the second half, brought to you by the Boomers Lifestyle Network.
I'm living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go, because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
Hi, I'm Evangelist Melanie Pichon. Listen, I'd like to invite you to view our Forgiven Talk Show every Thursday from 11 a.m. Central Standard Time until 12 noon. We talk about issues, we talk about challenges, we talk about those things really that other folks don't want to talk about. Listen, if you want to talk about something, if you want to give us some suggested ideas, comment below and we'll do our best to get at you. Remember, every Thursday from 11 a.m. Central Standard Time until 12 noon, the Forgiven Talk Show.
The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go, because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
Our listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255. The New Orleans Talk Network.
Oh man. Well, everybody, this is Big Homie here, where you can catch me out on Facebook at Henry HeyYoU Singleton, or you can catch me on Twitter at HeyYoU15, babe.
Yeah, you know me, just a people person right here. I ain't got no Twitter, nothing like that, so you can look me up on Facebook at Patrick Slim Goody Jones.
It's your boy Fred. Look, you can check me out on Twitter at BFredJones, baby.
Yeah, this is G with G Sports, man. You catch me on Twitter, G_paid_in_full 08. Pay me the money. Money, money, money.
Happy Merry Mondays. It's your girl, Mary J. I want you to tune in with me to Real Talk with Mary J on New Orleans Talk Network every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Then follow me to blogtalkradio.com/Real Talk with Mary J at 10 p.m. It's going to be a Merry Monday every Monday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. You've just tuned in to New Orleans Talk Network.
You until we can get this sound issue fixed.
No worries.
Awesome. Thanks for your patience.
Well.
Okay, and we are back. And so we're having a little bit of a technical issue with Ajit, so we're going to continue with Jim. But I'm really enjoying listening to his writing process as well as his editing process. And I think that what you're doing is something that a lot of authors should do. First of all, you're setting goals for yourself to finish your book in a certain amount of time. You're getting beta readers to read it, so now you know if your jokes are really funny or if they're falling flat. They're actually maybe seeing some things that you may not have seen because you're so close to the material. That way you have a clear product when you send it to the editor.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I really hope that the editor can focus on simply the grammatical issues, the minor issues that crop up. You know, there's going to be formatting issues, that type of stuff. I don't want the editor to have to spend a lot of time fixing my writing other than just the technical details of it.
And that makes a lot of sense. I tell people that when they take care of those issues themselves, it not only saves time in the editing process, but it also saves money. Because most editors like to charge by the hour, or they'll charge for how hard the product is, and they may charge you more money. Yep. So in that case, if you're sending them a cleaner product, now you're saving some money.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the things that I learned, especially in the anthologies, is we did 2 rounds of peer reviews through this. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with that or not. I'm happy to tell you a little bit about it.
Okay.
What we did, I wrote my story, I sent it in. One of the other authors went through it. They read it. They gave me detailed line-by-line critiques, paragraph by paragraph. I did the same thing to their story. We went back then, and we incorporated the comments. We incorporated those fixes. Then it went to another author. 2 complete rounds. The feedback and the things I learned from those 2 rounds of peer reviews made my writing so much better. I mean, I learned so much from those 2 other professional authors, and they learned from me too, because the things that I caught, no one else had caught. So I love peer reviews, and if you ever get a chance as an author to get into a group that does peer reviews, I highly suggest it. You'll learn more than that than you learn in classes, all the classes you could take.
Don't you think it takes a little bit of humility to let somebody else read your work?
Absolutely, absolutely. I've got some really good friends that are authors that have worked on these projects with me, and we have a no BS policy. We say what we think. We write out, the comments are, this is garbage. Okay, it's garbage. That's their opinion or my opinion. Now, I usually try to do it with a or something. I say, here's why this is fun. Here's why this would be better. But there's also, if someone uses the same catchphrase 30 times in a novel, I'm going to catch it and I'm going to tell them, you've said this 16 times. George swallowed hard. Okay, you said that 16 times already. We don't want to say that anymore. Come up with a new explanation for what he's doing.
And sometimes that's good, because I remember when I was writing my last book, I accidentally had my character say the same thing two times in the book, but I didn't realize it because it had been so long since I wrote the first time. So I had to go back and fix that. So having a beta reader many times can help you to pick something up, or they can let you know if passages are too similar.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. In comedy, sometimes I do intentionally have situations mirror each other, but I don't want it to be too similar. I don't want it to be the exact same situation. But there's sometimes where I have 2 characters that are experiencing the same thing, just from different points of view.
Okay.
It's good to get that feedback.
How do you find your beta readers and your peer groups? Your peer readers?
Social media primarily. I'm in several groups on Facebook. Connected to some people through Goodreads. Basically, connect with people on social media and find a group that you trust. I would not just send my novel off to someone I never talked to before. I'd like to make sure that I can trust them. They're not going to either steal my content or do something with it. But I've had really good luck with that. People read it and give me positive feedback. Very good information.
Now, do you ever wonder whether the person is at the level of writing that you are?
I do see that sometimes. Everybody's at different levels. I will do peer reviews and share my information, my novels with people of different levels. I figure over time I'm going to try to bring them up to my level, and I'm going to learn something from them one way or the other.
Awesome. And it makes a lot of sense. And you're right, because if somebody maybe isn't at your level, you can give them a few tips to help them to improve and get a little bit further along.
I think it's important to customize when you do those reviews, customize it to the person's level that they work with. Because if I tell someone something that's a very advanced level, they're not going to understand it. I need to break it down into, if they're just getting started, they're going to need simpler input.
Okay. Now, we talked a lot about your books and your writing style, but where can people find your books? I'm sure that there are a lot of comedy, science fiction readers out there, and maybe they haven't heard of comedy, science fiction. They think of science fiction as a little bit more straightforward. So where could they find your books?
Well, the simplest thing you can do is to Google Black Swan Planet. It's going to pop up at the top, probably 5 hits on Google as Black Swan Planet. It's going to show my Goodreads page. It's going to show my Amazon page. It'll also show my authors page. And if you just want to see what it's about, join me on Facebook. I've got the Black Swan Planet page there. You can answer questions. You can message me. I'm just happy to talk to people.
Okay. Now, question though. Can you hold your book up a little bit higher, because your cover is so hilarious to me. I love that.
That lovely fella is Marco, and he is one of the main characters. He actually plays a very critical part in the story. He is an intelligent chimpanzee, and he speaks sign language. He can use sign language and mime and stuff like that. So he knows more than the main character expects and understands throughout the story.
So now what's next for you? I mean, are you looking at being a full-time writer, or is this going to be your side gig? What's next for you?
I would love to be a full-time writer, a full-time author. Currently, I do own a small business. I'm not going to get into the details of that. It's a small business. I'm pretty much a one-man show in that business. Right now, I'm working on the sequel to this, The Black Swan Planet. It is called Black Swan Antithesis. There will be a third book, and that third book is tentatively called Black Swan Empire. You can probably figure out that it's going to take the action back to the Empire in the third book. I'm also in the process of developing a space opera series. And this space opera series is along the lines of a Star Trek or a Star Wars, or if you're familiar with it, Farscape. It's going to be kind of an out there series. We're going to have one human character, and the rest of the characters are going to be aliens. And it's going to be a little more serious than what I'm writing right now, but I know it will have moments of comedy that will just be out there. But it's going to be a little more serious over an overall more serious arc.
Okay, now what do you prefer to write? Comedy or more serious stories?
No matter what I write, I have comedy in it. The short stories I wrote were more of a serious nature, but I had a few lines in there, or a few situations where people message me and say, okay, it was so hardcore to hear, and then you just made me crack up, and I love to do that. So I like to mix it. I always figured that in the worst situation, no matter what the situation is, there's always going to be some humor that comes out of it.
Yes.
I've been, and I hate to say this, I've been to funerals where, my brother will say something to me, and I can't hardly, keep from cracking up. And it's a super sad situation, but there's humor to be found in it. The other side of it is, if I don't write, I've got to write a story to entertain. And if I don't grab that reader and entertain them throughout every page of this book, I didn't do my job. And sometimes that entertainment is action, sometimes it's adventure, and sometimes it's making them laugh out loud. But I've got to entertain.
It sounds like you take your job as a writer very seriously.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do. It's been a dream of mine for years, and I'm finally experiencing some success. I'll tell you, as the writer that I am now, I could not write these stories 20 years ago. I had to go through the failures and the trials and those first stories that were not that good to get to the point where I'm writing what I think is pretty good stuff.
So you said you've been writing for a lot of years. How many years is that?
Oh, I can remember writing when I was in high school. I took a class that's called Outer Limits, and it was short story writing in high school. And the first positive feedback I ever got was the teacher in that class, his English teacher, and she said, "You've got some skills here, hone it. You know, keep working on it." And I just kept writing off and on ever since. You know, life got in the way. Got married, had kids, all these things. Still wrote off and on. I've got a complete novel written that it's not out there because it's not that good. It's good, but it's not good enough for, you know, public consumption. I may go back to it at some point and you know, edit it and rewrite it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Well, we're going to take another quick break. We can see if we're going to finally be able to get Ajit on. And we're going to bring him into the conversation. So stay right there, and you guys stay right there. We'll be right back. Thank you for hanging in there with us. What's up, readers and shakers? It's your girl, Rhonda M. Lawson, sending you a personal invite to the Literary Lounge. Tune in to Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions each Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the best in literary conversation. Each week, a different author will join us to talk to their most important readers, you. You can also call in to ask your own questions. So don't forget, each Wednesday at 7 p.m., join us in the lounge for Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. See you there.
Hello and congratulations. You have arrived at the second half. I'm your host, Cinder Coleman Miller. Connect with us every Thursday at 10 o'clock a.m. on the New Orleans Talk Network as we discuss issues pertaining to the most exciting and prolific generation of our times, the baby boomers. So for information, resources, and booming entertainment, meet us at the second half, brought to you by the Boomers Lifestyle Network.
I'm living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Okay, and we are back, and we finally have Mr. Ajit Panicker on. He's coming in all the way from India. How are you doing today?
Superb. It's early.
It's what time? It's what day? It's Thursday morning?
It's 6 o'clock early morning here. Yeah.
Wow. It's
Thursday.
like we're talking into the future.
Technology.
Yeah, I love technology. So while I have you on, though, you are more than just an author. You're also a motivational speaker. You're a life coach. You're a corporate trainer. Yeah. You do a lot.
Yeah.
How do you balance all of that?
So, again, the balancing act, like what we were doing today, just before the show. So I am basically a motivational speaker, corporate trainer. I work with a lot of clients across India. And we work for their soft skill requirements. So I'm basically a motivational speaker who speaks on various addresses and helps the audience, you know, gain those skills which is required, kind of motivate them. And then writing is something which is my passion, and which is again, you know, has become a kind of a profession in the past 7-8 years only. You know. Prior to that, I was more of a voracious reader only. So if you see behind me, the background which you see is my living room. Yeah. So I just a fanatic. I love reading books like anything. I read about 4 to 5 books at one point in time. So it's just that I can't hang on. I probably can't hang on with one thing with me. So I love balancing it with a lot of things. So it keeps me engaged, it keeps me motivated, it keeps me interested. So a lot of people say you should specialize in one thing. So I probably feel that you should do anything and everything which comes your way. And if it gets interesting, it makes you interesting to do that.
Interesting. So you said you could read 4 to 5 books at a time. How many books do you think you've read in 1 year?
So I am going through a Goodreads challenge, and it's March, and I have read about 18 books so far. In the first 3 months of the year, I've read 18 books. Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, now I'm going to have to catch up with you. I love to read, but I've not read 18 books yet, so I'm going to have to catch up with you.
Yeah.
Now, because you read a big variety of books, do you write a variety of subjects? Because I was looking at your books, and I know you have one book that's fiction, but another book which is a bit more of a motivational book. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I basically started off with a blog, and I started writing that as a conversation between a father and a son. So that was based on parenting, on family values, and that has got something to do with the reflection in my life. Probably the way I have seen people, rearing up their kids, the children, and the way probably my parents have reared me. So I've always felt there should be a healthy discussion, and there should be something which the parents should look up to speak to their children. The children should look up to speak to their parents. So that is why that is based on something on family values. Whereas the second, which is more of a fiction, it's more of a mystery, more of a suspense thriller. By the same time, it's a mix of a lot of genres. Rather, I would say 2 genres. To be specific, it's a romantic thriller. The second novel, which is I Think I Know You, Karunya Do I. I'll just try to show that book to you. So this is that book,
Oh, there it is.
This is that book, I Think I Know You, Karunya Do I. And this is the first one. This is on everyday parenting. So if you can see, it's on everyday parenting.
Okay. Yeah, hold it to the other side. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you have 2 books, or is it 3 books?
So I have written so far, which are published, which are 2 books. The third one I am about 35% through with my first draft, and because I'm also working on something which has just been offered few weeks back. It's basically a screenplay for a movie, for a Bollywood movie as well.
A Bollywood?
So I am basically writing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am writing a screenplay for a movie. So I have got busy with that, because of which my has taken a backstage.
Mm.
Yeah, so the third one is basically a book called The Writing Alchemist.
Yes, I saw that on your website.
Yeah. So The Writing Alchemist is something wherein, it is a story which will basically start from, and there are characters who are based in US. So we're going to go from Indiana to India province. So it's a story of a scientist who is trying to do a lot of things for the world, who's based out in US, whereas there is a writer in India who is trying to do a lot of stuff in writing, but he is completely a failure, and he is thrown out of his house by his wife. And how he manages, and how the course of the world, whereas one of those scientists who's based out in US, who is a wicked scientist, there are 2 scientists rather there, one of those scientists by the world, and here this writer who's the hero of this novel, who tries to save the world. So he has a magical pen in his hand, which he kind of does all of these facts. There are a lot of other things which is there in this particular story, which is there in this novel, which will make it a lot more interesting. And then, as I said, the fourth one is The Boy Who Never Gave Up. So these are the 2 books which are lined up, which I'm parallelly writing. As I said, I read. I'm trying to parallelly write, but yes, the focus right now is on the 3rd book.
So do you have a timeline as to when the new books are going to be released?
Yes. So I make it a point, I so far have made it a point that I would release just one book in a year, not 2, 3, 4 books like usually people do these days, because I want to focus, as I was hearing James also, a book has to go through a lot of stages, before it finally comes in the hands of the readers. And when the final product comes in the hand of the readers, it should actually move that reader. He should feel the book. He should feel like he's living that book. He should feel the characters, the characterization, the required to make him feel that as being part of that book, being one of those characters. So very important to give time to that one book. Though I don't know how people manage, but yes, there are people like I manage 4 or 5 different activities in my life every day. There must be people who write about 3 to 4 books at one point in time. That's not a big deal then for them.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry. I had a little bit of a sound issue, but I think we resolved it. So what I was going to ask you, because I like what you said, that a reader should feel the book. They should feel like they are part of the story. What is your process for shaping your characters, for developing your characters?
The character yourself and then write, which is a very difficult task, which probably movie stars can do, but for a writer it's more of an imagination. And trust me, the second book which I have written, the fiction which I have written, is a thorough imagination. And when you imagine things, there are a lot of things which you visualize. It's more of a visualization process which works for a fiction writer. There are things in your mind subconsciously which probably you don't realize in your daytime and when you're in that conscious stage. But when you are writing, and when you are writing in that space, as James was also mentioning, he has his own space, I have my own space. I started off writing in the evenings, in the late evenings, but then I slowly realized what works best for me is the morning. So I have now started getting at about 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning and write for 2 hours. Though it is not every day, at times it happens that I tend to take a break, maybe because of some family engagement, because of some reason, maybe there was a late night party or something. But yes, I make it a point that I discipline myself to writing.
Okay, so I like what you said, that you actually like to get up in the early morning and write for about 2 hours. Now, let's say you've gotten to that 2-hour point and you either have not written as much as you would have liked to, or maybe you're on a roll and you don't want to stop. Do you stop yourself at that 2 hours, or do you continue to write?
So probably what you're getting at is the writer's mental block.
Yes.
The writer's block, which we say. So yes, it happens at times. So a lot of people in my other interviews have asked me the same thing. What do you do when you get blocked? What when your visualization gets blocked? What when your imagination gets blocked? What do you do? So yes, I have made it a point that I write for 2 hours, but at times it happens that nothing is coming up into my mind. Probably that basically the nature, the Lord is giving me a hint that you're not supposed to do this right now. So take a break for about say 5 or 10 minutes. Go and have a fresh air. Maybe listen to some music. Watch some piece of video on YouTube, or maybe read something, or maybe just play with your kids, when it used to be in the evening. So that sometimes, brings you back on the track. That's what I experience every day.
So basically,
it's very important.
You can't be afraid to walk away.
Come again, Rhonda, I could not hear you. I could not hear you.
You should basically not be afraid to walk away.
Yes, you should not give up. Because if you start make it a habit of feeling that mental block, that writer's block which people usually refer to, then you will condition your mind. You will condition your mind that this can come often to you. And then probably you'll probably not push yourself a little bit. Just a little bit of push may help you sit on that seat, which is your magical seat, the seat where you write. probably on the laptop or probably on a sheet of paper.
I love that, the magical seat. When you sit in that seat, you're ready to write.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. Okay, so...
it's all about
I'm sorry?
It's all about conditioning. You have to condition, you have to train your mind to do things.
I love that. I'm going to take some of that advice for myself because I'm going to start a writing project very soon. And I'm going to think about what you said, and I'm going to sit in my magic seat. So now I want to circle back to reading, because I had actually issued a reading challenge to read 50 books in a year. So with you having read so many books so quickly, what are some tips that you have for people who feel like they don't have time, or they don't want to read, or they could never read a book that quickly? What are some tips that you have for people like that?
So one thing for anything to do, you know, the golden rule which apply is that you have to get on and take that first to 550. The biggest task is to first take the most tiniest of book and read its first page. Trust me, to read that first page, it might happen. It might happen that you go on to the second page. And then this is just one thing, which is basically to come out of that block which usually people feel, challenges which they feel. Second thing is there are many other ways by which you can probably get into a reading habit. You know, these days people are now, those non-readers who are not reading the paperbacks come up. Those who don't want even to read Kindle back editions, Kindle editions, there are audiobooks available.
Yes.
So, until you don't feel the hang of reading or probably listening to a story, probably you will not get into a habit. I should feel everything. You know? If I don't feel like getting energized by a swimming activity, I'll probably not jump into the pool for the second time. So first is that you have to hang on. The second thing is that you have to be disciplined in that activity. And the third thing is that you should actually get motivated by the people around you who are gaining out of it. You should keep all your five, you know, the senses on. There are people around you who are doing a lot of stuff. You are not living alone in this world. You have to get affected by people, and obviously positively affected by people. What I have seen is that in my life, reading has changed my life almost at every step. Almost at every step. This has been my guide. This has been my mentor. This has been the biggest motivating force to me come out of the biggest of troubles in my life. My best friend, probably, you know, my wife probably envies. And she says, you know, the books are more lovable to you than me probably. So I have taken an uphill task to build up this library, you know, and you know what? Even my wife got motivated to design this wall, the wall which you're seeing behind me.
It's beautiful.
So it's passion. It's passion to write. It's passion to read. It's passion to swim. It's passion to be a speaker. You have to drive your passion in and out every single day. It has to become the second you, the nature of yours.
This is why you're a motivational speaker. I think you can motivate anybody with that speed.
I'm blessed that you feel so.
Well, now tell me, do you do videos like this a lot? Is that how you were able to grow your following? Because I believe you have about 10,000 followers on Facebook right now.
Yeah, I have my author page which has about close to 13,000 followers. And to that, social media in together gives me about 35,000 followers and readers. And as the world today is, the digital world is helping us a lot, more than the offline. But yes, now of late, I have started concentrating and focusing on the offline events. So I do a lot of book reading events now, open mic sessions now. I have started becoming a judge and a speaker in a lot of writing events as well, trying to guide people on the stuff which is related to writing, the different stages of writing process, and obviously the motivation to read and write. Because something which I feel strongly is that something which probably you feel and look out for everywhere around you, a motivation to come back into your life whenever you are down, you can easily get back to your life if you start reading. Because it helps you imagine, it helps you take a flight which probably a direct word from somebody would not affect that much. Because you will stress your mind when you are reading. You will stress your mind to take that flight, and probably when that emotion change happens, it might happen that your mood might change, you might come out of the depression. So reading is something, which is the ultimate goal, ultimate way of coming out of things. And yes, the readers which I have, the readers and the audience segment which I have made up in these 3-4 years, it's all because they probably started liking my reading a little bit. I would not say that I am a New York Times bestseller or probably India's bestseller here, but yes, I'm trying to make a difference, and that's what is important for me. That's what is important for me. I am not trying to compete with the best. I'm just trying to be better every day, every single day. And probably the day would come then people would say that he too is one of those wonderful writers.
Awesome. Now, can you tell us where people can find you if they want to purchase your books, if they want to maybe hear more of your motivational words? Where can people find you?
So I am present all over the social media. I have my YouTube channel. I have, if you just type in my name on Google search engine, you will find at least 25 links, the first 25 pages which will reflect various links, various social media accounts where I am connected. I'm available on Amazon Central as an author, so Amazon author page. I am available on Goodreads with an author page. I have my own website, which you can easily find out over the Google, which is www.ajitkpanicker.com, exactly like what my name is. So it was easier because there was no other specific name with that website. So kind of a uniqueness which I have got. And then obviously various blogs and posts which I post on the Google, on Facebook, on various other social media can help you link me to me. You can email me. My website is the best place to get connected because it has all my social media links right on the first homepage.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so very much for joining us tonight. I would love to have you back on the show again. I really enjoyed our interview. So I want to thank you as well as Jim Peters for joining us. This was a great show. Next time I will be in the studio when I interview you guys. I won't be out of town. But I'm glad that we were able to make it work. So thank you. And Jim, if I see you're still there, I want to thank you as well. Do you have any last words you'd like to share?
No, thank you for having me here, and laughter is the best medicine.
Amen to that.
So thanks a lot, Rhonda and James and Mike, for taking all that trouble to get us in. It means the show.
Thank you guys as well, and thank you all for joining us tonight for this special edition of Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. We will be back next week with some authors from the Dayton Writers Workshop that's going to be taking place in Dayton, Ohio, and more information to follow on that. And we're just really enjoying ourselves. I mean, we're just continuing to meet new writers, new authors, new musicians, and so forth. We have a great April coming up, and just stay tuned. Great things are happening. I want to wish you guys a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. You're in New Orleans. You're an entrepreneur.
Thank you.
You're making it to the New Orleans Entrepreneur Week, which is going on until Friday. So that's all. We'll see you next week. Have a great day, a great evening, have a great week, and have an even better weekend.